Welcome to the Mike Leaf Show on the Warrior Sports Network. I'm Grant Wall, joined as always by Winona State head basketball coach Mike Leaf. Coach, a mixed bag for you this weekend. Go up, beat Bemidji on Friday night, fall to Duluth in a close contest on Saturday, and then get stranded up in Duluth because of all the weather that rolled through the area. Just kind of a strange weekend for you.
Yeah, it was, getting stranded in Duluth isn't the most pleasant place to be, I'll tell you that. But it was interesting because they got very little snow. It was just a wind chill, but it was because of the driving, trying to get through the Minneapolis Twin Cities area and down into Winona. So, but needless to say, the Bemidji game, first weekend on the road for us in the conference, and we played a tough Bemidji team that Scrappy had beaten us last year a couple times. And, one of the things, both games that we're trying to instill with our players, and we've got some new guys, some guys that have been around the block, but it is a fact that, when we put you on a pedestal, even though maybe you're not supposed to be there, but regardless, that's where you want to be. And you've got to make sure that you got to play your best basketball, and that's what we didn't do in either game, to be honest with you. But hopefully we're taking steps in the right direction. So it was a tough game, against Duluth, a Duluth team that's scrappy, up and coming, hit some shots down the stretch that were pretty nice, and we didn't convert on times that we were open, and you just have to do that, especially on the road.
A ranked team like yourself, number 3 in the polls going into last weekend. Is this a little bit of a wake-up call? You talk a lot about how tough the NSIC is and how anything can happen on a given night. Is this a little wake-up call for the team maybe that we really have to buckle down? We'll be getting everybody's best shot?
I certainly hope so. And I've always been a believer that our conference is the toughest in the nation. And so I think it prepares yourself for our conference tournament and hopefully beyond that. And then we've got some tough games coming up. So, you've just got to, as I tell our guys, you got to keep the game simple, but we've got to correct some of the little things that the miscues that we're having. And may it be a missed rebound, or may it be a tip pass, or, just taking care of the basketball and doing those little things is so important.
How did you handle the change in schedule coming home? Did you give the kids a day off on Sunday, or did you try to get a few things worked in while you were still up in Duluth?
No. We got back on Sunday early afternoon and had to get up quite early, and so gave them Sunday off and then went right back at it on Monday.
So it didn't really change the approach to this week then for you?
No, not at all. And the nice thing is we've got finals done, and I believe everybody's done very well, and so we've got some free time here where we can just focus on basketball and get ready for next weekend.
Getting back to the games, looked like Bemidji State on Friday. A good game, balanced scoring, production off the bench, production from a lot of different areas. You mentioned that it wasn't your best game, but you still had to be pleased with the outcome and how everything shook out there on Friday.
Yeah, you bet. They're I guess not as big, but they've got some good athletes, and they really move the basketball around. What I was pleased about was our offense and our rebounding. We did a much better job rebounding. Offensively, we were unselfish with the ball. We moved it around the perimeter, got it inside, outside, and down the stretch, I thought we played extremely well when it was a decently close ball game, but we took care of the ball and finished them. And so, I shouldn't say I wasn't upset about the game, because I felt like we really handled them pretty well and made some great decisions down, like I said, down the stretch to finish them off and get the victory.
And then Saturday, looked like you were getting a lot of good shots that you want, but just couldn't quite get them to go.
Yeah, I think we missed some inside layups that we should normally hit. We hit some wide open outside jumpers. Those things, they've got to fall, but on certain nights, sometimes it won't happen. So you've just got to pick up your defense and play that much better at the other end of the floor. I think we gave up too many fast break points to a Duluth team that really doesn't run too much, and so some miscues that we've got to fix and get ready for this coming weekend.
All right, that's all the time we have here on this first segment. We'll be back on the Mike Leaf Show. I'll be joined by John Walburg, and he'll talk a little bit about this season and how things are going for him. Stay tuned.
I chose Winona State because student athletes graduate at a higher rate.
I can stay closer to home.
And being an important part of the community.
I chose Winona State because I can double major.
And take part in campus activities.
I chose Winona State because the classrooms are smaller.
Students have more time to spend with their instructors.
And I can compete for a national championship.
I chose Winona State for all these reasons and more.
I chose Winona State.
See what a smile can do.
At Hy-Vee, your health is what matters most.
That's why we offer hundreds of organic and heart-healthy foods.
Expertise in disease management and over 100 in-store dietitians.
See what a smile.
We'll customize a diet and exercise program for you and your family. We're your personal health team, here to keep you healthy and happy.
There's a helpful smile in every eye.
Power, intensity, courage, teamwork, reaching back for more, knowing you're a champion. That's our purple. Winona State Athletics. Find your purple.
Welcome back to the Mike Leaf Show on the Warrior Sports Network. Matt Prink is taking the holiday break to his advantage. He's not here this week, so I'm going to be joined now by Warrior guard John Walburg. And John, I guess we'll start you off with this. Just how do you think the season's going so far? 6-1, first loss of the season on Saturday. What's your feeling through these first 7 games?
So far, I think it's going pretty good. We're playing well as a team. We did have a little slip up against Duluth, but we got right back in the gym and we're ready to, make a little run again. So far, pretty good.
You're the first guy off the bench, usually the 6th man. What's your mindset? You know you're not out there on tip-off, but it could be 1 minute, it could be 6-7 minutes in the game. Coach is going to point at you and say, "John, get in there." What's your mindset? What do you have to do to get ready then?
Basically, I just want to go out there and be a spark. I want to help the team contribute any way possible, and whether that means grabbing rebounds, scoring some points, just being that spark and trying to help the team get going a little bit more.
You got such a nice shot from outside. How did you groove that into the stroke it is today? A lot of hours on the
a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. My mom actually, she's got keys to the gym and everything, so I'm in there quite a bit by myself with her. She's always rebounding for me. I just remember growing up as a kid, even during the winter, going out there with your gloves on and just shooting some hoops in the backyard. So a lot of hard work though.
Did you have a hoop on the garage, or did you have a slab or something? Just
on the garage, and then nice little driveway out there too.
Nice.
So just playing games with myself.
Mm-hmm. Plenty of room to get open and shoot.
Exactly.
You've become more of a rebounder over the last few games and kind of exerted yourself down low. Is that something that maybe you've consciously started to emphasize for yourself, getting under there and getting some boards?
Definitely. I think, that's just another way I can contribute. I know the last couple years I've really been slacking, and that was one of my biggest things in high school is just rebounding. I mean, I am 6'5", and I can jump a little bit, a little bit. I've got a little bit of ability down there, so that's just one of the things I've been focusing on a little bit more and more this year.
Now, you're one of a couple Iowa kids on this roster, and you have kids with ties to both major universities in Iowa on the team. Clayton Vetty obviously played for Iowa State. Anthony Tucker played for the University of Iowa. So whose team are you on? Or are you on Vetty's team when it comes to the Iowa-Iowa State rivalry, or are you on Anthony Tucker's team?
I'm definitely rooting for the Hawkeyes. Big football fan for the Hawkeyes, not so much basketball, but you got to stick with the Hawkeyes through everything. So. And
Clayton has bragging rights, at least for right now, with the Iowa State victory last week. Yeah. So it might be safe to lay low as far as that's concerned on the team right now. Clayton might have something to say about that. Just a few random questions now. This is always Matt's favorite part of the show. So growing up in Iowa, kind of a convergence of a lot of different loyalties. What was your favorite NFL team growing up?
Favorite NFL team would probably be the Vikings.
You were a Vikings fan?
Oh, yep.
Okay. A lot of people cheer for the Packers, some for the Bears, kind of all over in that state. What was your favorite subject in school, or maybe is your favorite subject now?
Favorite subject in high school was math. I liked algebra, all that stuff. But now it's kind of converting over to a lot of science, health sciences, sciences with the body and anatomy and stuff like that.
What's on your iPod that gets you pumped up and ready to go before a game?
I listen to a lot of country.
A lot of country?
Believe it or not, yeah. So Betty's always got country going, Segula, he's always got some country going, so that's kind of my thing.
I'm not quite sure how country gets you pumped up for basketball, but I'll take your word for it. It's successful for you guys. What's the best meal that you can cook?
That I could cook? Probably just some hamburger helper, something out of a box.
Nothing extravagant?
Oh, no. Definitely not.
So then what's the best meal that Mom can cook?
Probably just my favorite would probably be just some spaghetti or some Alfredo, something like that.
Something simple but nice and home cooked?
Pasta, carbs, yep.
Absolutely. Are you a fan of making snow angels or laying on the beach? Which one do you prefer?
Probably laying on the beach.
I know that's a tricky question after getting a foot plus of snow over the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. And coming back from Miami, it's definitely a lot nicer down there.
That's a hard one to adjust to, going from the beach to a foot of snow. Last question for you: who's the best finisher on the team once they get to the rim? And it can be the quickest, getting from the free throw line to the rim, or maybe once he gets there, has the best finish. But who's the one guy that can finish the best?
I'd have to put my money on Ben Fischer. He's always, just because he gets there a lot more than most other guys, just drive and finish all the time.
If there's one guy you could have going to the hole, it'd be Ben.
Definitely.
All right. That is all the time we have here with John. We'll be back on a little special treat for you. We'll get Ben Fischer, the John Walburg's best finisher on the team, and he'll join me next right after these messages.
Warrior fans, let's celebrate history and honor the record-breaking 2010 Winona State soccer team. The Warriors made it to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament while also winning the NSIC regular season and conference championships. Join us in recognizing the team at halftime of the men's basketball game on January 15th as Warrior basketball hosts MSU Moorhead.
Looking for great off-campus housing? Great River Management and Sales has a large selection of houses and apartments representing many of Winona's property owners. Owners and renters rely on Great River Management. Stop by the Great River Boat at Main and Broadway and see what we can do for you.
Welcome back to the Mike Leaf Show on the Warrior Sports Network, joined by Warrior senior guard Ben Fischer. And Ben, hard to believe it's your final season here with the Warriors already.
Yeah, I mean, time goes fast when you're having fun and stuff like that, and had some good years here, and hopefully we can finish this out on a good note.
What are your expectations for this team, or what do you see the potential as being? You're someone who played on the national championship team 3 years ago. You don't want to put pressure on your team and yourself, but do you see this team as another squad that can make a deep run in the postseason?
Yeah, it's hard to compare us to a team like that. I mean, we were obviously a very good team back then, and those guys have played together for a long time. So right now, I mean, it's a learning process for us. We're getting to know each other a little better each day, and so hopefully when playoff time comes, we're playing our best basketball.
One of those teammates that you didn't have to work quite as hard to get to know is your younger brother Jordan, who's a sophomore on the team. What's it been like being able to play with him over these last 2 years, having your brother there in practice and on trips?
I mean, most of the time on the basketball floor, it doesn't make much of a difference that he's your brother. I mean, he's just another guy out there playing basketball with you. But it's just good to have him around, and it makes things easier for mom and dad to come watch and stuff like that, so it's good.
You're closing in on the all-time assist record here at Winona State, just 11 assists short of being the all-time leader in that category. What does that mean to you to go down as, as eventually the greatest assist person in school history?
I don't know. I mean, it's just a factor of being here a while, playing with a lot of good players that can put the ball in the basket. I mean, we went through Jontes and Smitty's and David Johnson. I mean, it's all credit to everyone around that. I mean, it's not just me doing that stuff. So, I mean, it's just something that comes along the way.
The other guy has to do his part. Yeah. They got to knock the shot down.
I've had some good players around me, so that helps.
What do you get more pleasure from? Finding a teammate with a pass that leads to a dunk or an easy layup, or hitting a dagger three that that shuts up a crowd or kind of ices the game? Which one do you like better?
I'd like to do both. I mean, you don't want to. Whatever the defense gives us. So if they lay off me, I need to be able to knock down the shot. But if people are open, I want to get them the ball and hopefully anything that gives the team success.
Another question here about your brother. Through the first few games of the season, he was sporting just an unbelievable mustache. You usually have the few days without a shave look. So who can grow the better facial hair in your family, you or your brother Jordan?
I don't know. We have oddly very different facial hair patterns. For some reason, he has just a mustache that comes in. I don't really know. Mine comes in a little more even everywhere. So, I mean, I don't know. It seems like a lot of people like when Jado grows his stash out. It's something to talk about, and he's exciting to listen to and talk to. He's a funny guy.
He was very proud of that mustache. he liked it a lot.
He's a funny guy.
All right, these last few quick questions. So first of all, you grew up in Wisconsin. Were you a Packer fan growing up, or did your allegiance shift a little bit to the West?
I don't know. As a kid, I was kind of a sour apple, and I always cheered against like the home teams and stuff like that. I was one of those kids who wanted to, I don't know. So I grew up as sort of a Cowboy fan just because they were good back then and one of those things. And it's just, I don't know. I like watching NFL football, but I try not to worry too much about any teams like that.
Needed to be a little bit different.
Yeah, for some reason, I'd be just a stickler.
Favorite subject in school?
I don't know. I'm kind of a math guy. I've got MIS major and accounting minor and business administration major as well now to come back next year. And so it's been math sort of through high school and stuff like that, and then the business branching off of that.
You one of those guys like John Walburg earlier talked about? Are you a country guy on your iPod before the games, or do you use something else to get pumped up?
I'm definitely not a country guy. I mean, I don't know. I listen to basically everything, all kinds of stuff, just whatever I'm feeling like.
Just whatever comes through the iPod that you like.
Oh yeah,
going.
Got a couple favorite bands and stuff like that, but I don't know, nothing in particular. I just roll with what everybody else is doing.
Best meal that you can cook?
I'm not a good cook.
Ramen noodles?
Ramen noodles. I've eaten that every once in a while. I don't know, my mom's a really good cook, so if I need anything, hopefully she brings it on the weekend and stuff like that, and I'll just reheat it.
So what's her favorite meal that you like to eat?
I don't know. My mom always likes to feed me and my brother steak when we go home. Just grill up a nice steak, some potatoes and stuff like that. I mean, she likes to feed us.
Do you like the snow or laying on the beach?
I don't know. I like the Midwest. I mean, whatever. The beach is fun. I like getting a tan and stuff like that, playing in the water, but I don't have any problem with being in the cold and stuff like that.
Last question. John Walburg anointed you as the best finisher on the team. Would you like to argue with that, or somebody else?
I don't know. I'm probably quick to the basket, but finishing around the rim, I mean, we've got a bunch of good athletes on our team, and I think in the next few years, you'll see, I think Caleb, a guy like that, you're going to see some good things coming out of him around the rim.
All right, well, thank you very much, Ben. That's it for this segment here on The Mike Leaf Show. We'll be back with Coach Leaf, talk a little bit about the upcoming games here on The Mike Leaf Show on the Warrior Sports Network.
Well, the Warrior Club provides a basis for our scholarship foundation.
And our goal is to try to generate a minimum of $125,000 to support the efforts of Winona State University coaches in the recruitment of outstanding students.
We're just like the general student population that as tuition increases, we need to continue to raise the number of dollars that the tuition goes up.
And when you think about the responsibility that the Warrior Club has in contributing to the overall success of Warrior athletics, it's really a tremendous responsibility of all the volunteers that we have involved with the program.
Well, there's several different ways to become a member. The easiest way is to go out to WinonaStateWarriors.com, There's a Warrior Club link. You click on that link, and then there's a Becoming a Member icon. You can just click on that. It'll bring you to the Foundation's website. It's 2-3 clicks, that's all it takes. You can also donate some time, which is greatly appreciated. We have the 4 different big events that happens.
And we kind of started off with the membership drive that goes on in the spring, starting in April and going onward. The summer we have the Warrior Club Golf Classic, sponsored by Merchants Bank and RTP. And then traditionally in the fall we have the sports auction, which is here on campus. And then we kind of close the calendar year up with the Lewiston Auto Holiday Basketball Tournament.
It's fun to be a part of because it is part of a team, and you become part of a member. You get to know other people around town and other alumni and friends that all support a good common cause in Warrior Athletics.
Each member hopefully feels a part of the total program and the successes that the coaches and student athletes have demonstrated, not only in the past, but those basic things that will hopefully continue to grow in the future.
You can look at the success of the Warrior Athletics, and you can definitely draw a linear correlation between the growth that the Warrior Club has had, and the funding that they've provided to the athletic department. It's been pretty cool.
And we are back here on the Mike Leaf Show on the Warrior Sports Network. And the Warriors return to McCowan Gymnasium this weekend. 2 games, Friday night against Southwest Minnesota State, Saturday against Minnesota State, and 2 more quality opponents that you welcome in here.
You betcha, and I tell you what, they're playing very, very well. Southwest Minnesota State is, they're a very physical team. They're the absolute best rebounding team, I believe, in our conference. I mean, they just really get after it at both ends of the floor. They're hungry, and it's going to be a great battle. And then of course Mankato. Both teams I think we have a great rivalry with. Mankato's always been in the top 3-4 teams in our conference. We've had some great games against them in the past. They've got a great talented ball club, so it's going to be a war both nights.
And Minnesota State will be the first ranked opponent that you guys have faced this year. With them coming in ranked, as will the Warriors, them being kind of a rival, a lot of good battles back and forth over the years. Does that give a little extra excitement to that game on Saturday?
Well, I think both teams. Southwest had made it out to the Elite Eight and a couple of years back, and Mankato is coming to our place for regionals, and it's been a great rivalry. But I think again, for us, it's the parity's so good, and we've got 2 of the better teams in our league coming at our house, and we've got to defend our court, defend our house, and play extremely well. We are on break, so we're not going to have the students around. So hopefully we're going to get some great, which we always have, community support. And like I said, it'll be 2 great basketball teams coming into Winona.
That's right. And Friday night's game, it's a whiteout, so wear your white to the Warriors game on Friday. Saturday night's game,
I'm going to wear black.
You're going to wear black? Okay. We'll let Coach wear black. Yeah. Everybody else wear white. And then Saturday night, it'll be a purple out, I guess. Everybody encouraged to wear their purple Winona State gear. So that'll add kind of another element to the atmosphere of what will already be a exciting and charged game.
Absolutely. And those are great things that happen. And like I said, we get great community support. So it'll be a phenomenal weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Talking a little bit more about last weekend, able to get C.J. Erickson going against Duluth. He had 13 points. He's averaging better than 7 points, 5 rebounds a game for you this season. He's such a unique talent, so many different things that he can do. What's key to really getting him going? And the production's there, but what's key to getting him going throughout a course of a game?
Well, I think 2 of his biggest strengths is his defense and his rebounding. And we put him on for a little time being on Rasmussen, the point and off guard for Duluth that really is a great scorer, and we just wanted to chase him around and use his length. But just his lateral movement is there. He can get a little better at it, but he does definitely get some tip balls for us to get us some fast breaks and rebounds, and those are the real keys to his game.
Ben Fischer watch continues. We talked about it last week. We'll talk about it next week. Just 11 assists short of being the all-time assist leader here at Winona State. And when you look through that assist list, there are a ton of great names on that list, be it Travis Whipple, David Johnson, Jonte Flowers is in that top 10. When you look at all those different names, what does that say about Ben's contribution to the program that he's going to leave here as the #1 assist guy in school history?
Well, I think the world of Ben, and he does so much for us out there on the floor, and one of his great attributes is obviously distributing the ball, and I've told him, we've got to look for your shot a little bit more often, and even on his dribble penetration, many of the times he'll go in and he'll finish with a layup, and sometimes he has the opportunity where he should pull up and shoot a jumper. It's kind of like his bread and butter, to be honest with you, but he doesn't use it too often. So scoring-wise, we can get a little bit more out of him, but from a defensive standpoint, distributing the ball, he just does such a great job. And so, I think of some of the real way past players like Darren Miller, who had the assist record, and to be able to come in and do that is incredible because the number is so high. And back in the day, to be honest with you, when we had a sports information director, that it was actually students that ran it, and that was when when I was first here as an assistant coach, and they basically gave out assists like they were candy, and they weren't true assists. So these are true assists, and to get to that number is just absolutely incredible, and he certainly deserves it.
Yep, you have to earn them in my book.
I know.
They got to be real. Well, that's all the time we have on the Mike Leaf Show this week. A quick program reminder, this will be the last show of the 2010 calendar year. We'll take a couple weeks off for the holiday break, be back after the new year with brand new episodes of the Mike Leaf Show. For Coach Leaf, I'm Grant Wall. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you Friday here at McCowan Gymnasium as the Warriors take on Southwest Minnesota State.